Hey guys, I'm Shamika Tankerson, creator of the Authority Selling Method, which is a powerful framework for having conversations that both serve and sell. And I want to welcome you to this quick and powerful training called 2018 Own It Right Now. This is all about firing up your confidence to achieve your big money goals. Here's my intention for this quick and powerful training. It's to help you get out of your own way so you can really hit those sales goals that you have for yourself. Here's what happens when you don't hit your goals. You know, maybe you thought you'd crush this past year and you didn't hit your goals like you thought you would. Maybe you thought you'd get geared up for the fourth quarter and hit those goals and create momentum into this year, and you didn't hit those goals either. And you might be feeling a sense of loss. You might be feeling even a little bit doubtful that you'll even achieve your six-figure or multi-six-figure goal that you have for yourself in the new year coming up. We're headed into quarter one of the new year, and I want to give you some powerful support and inspiration around what you can do to make it happen for yourself. Okay. And I know you're thinking of that, like, what can I do to totally make sure that I own 2018? Even if you felt sure of achieving your goal last year and you didn't hit it, you're like, okay, I don't want that to happen again. Here's the thing. If you don't get this right, what happens is it basically becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You keep setting goals, and then you don't know why, and you get frustrated, and then nothing really changes. So I want you to grab a pen and a paper if you don't already have one, because I think this is going to be really powerful for you. And let's just dive right in. This is going to be really quick, like I said, but powerful. So the first thing that you want to do as you move into the new year is you really want to be focused on mastering the mindset of who you be. Mastering the mindset of who you be. You know, people come to me all the time and they're like, Shamika, what do I need to do, to have, a 20K, 50K month, a 100K month? What do I need to do? They'll ask me, what do I need to do to be able to charge $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, $50,000 for my services? And I always tell them this, it's not about what you need to do. You're asking me the wrong question. The question is, who do you need to become? Who do you need to become? That is the question. So I want to break this down for you. This is not about you becoming another person, because I promise you, you are already the person who can achieve multiple six figures or a six-figure business, or make, five-figure sales at $10,000, $20,000 or more. But you have to step into that. And so one of the ways that you do that, here's what I want you to think about. In other words, you want to be really paying attention to your thoughts and your feelings. If you experience setback after setback after setbacks, and you don't focus on your emotions, managing your emotions, paying attention to what you're thinking or feeling when you're in those setbacks, this is what can happen. You'll set a goal, and if you fail to achieve it, you'll begin to create something I like to call a negative snowball effect, or I like to call it the habit of self-doubt. What happens is our thoughts, when we achieve something, when we don't accomplish a goal, our thoughts then automatically start looking for what's wrong instead of what can go right. So if you have setback after setback, missed goal after missed goal, when it comes time to step up to the plate again, you're always looking for what could possibly go wrong instead of what can go right. And then we start to miss opportunities that are all around us, that are everywhere, because our focus is so much on the negative or what could possibly go wrong. So here's what's really happening. You're actually creating a sense of trauma around not achieving your goals over and over and over again. And it's almost as if you begin to sabotage yourself. So I want you to lean in and listen to me. You're showing up every day. You're taking action. You're doing what you're supposed to do, but you're still not getting the result. And the longer you continue down this path, you'll start to believe that this is your truth. And every time you go for it, every time you step up to the plate, there's always this looming sense of doubt as to whether or not you're actually going to achieve the goal. And listen, it really isn't that you can't hit the goal. You absolutely can. But if you don't master your thoughts and feelings, or master who you're being when you're going for the goal, when you're taking the actions toward the goal, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work, you're going to feel like you keep hitting this wall or an income ceiling, or like you're not able to break through, or that you're taking one step forward and two steps back, or like you're spinning your wheels. So the first thing we need to do to manage this is to get an understanding. Okay, we need to get an understanding when this is happening, in order for you to be aware. So here's what you can do. To begin to get this understanding, what you can do is this. You want to understand what's happening by beginning to monitor what you're thinking and feeling at any given time, particularly around when things don't go your way. Check in with yourself. How am I feeling when there are setbacks, when there are disappointments, when there are missteps, when there's failures, so you can get a handle on this. One of the things that I help my clients do to break through this stuff is to break through this pattern by understanding it, by recognizing it, and then taking the next steps. So right now, I'm going to give you a couple of tools to support you through this process. So it doesn't matter whether or not you decide to work with me. I want to give you two things that you can use. Okay. The first thing is, it's a visualization. I know you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do another visualization, but this is a powerful tool. It's helped me really transform and transcend anything that I really ever thought I could do in the current state, right? This has changed everything for me, and it changes things for my clients. So what you want to do with your visualization is you want to visualize yourself actually achieving whatever the goal is that you have for yourself. And here's the step that I think people don't do. Like, they sit down and they kind of map it out, but you want to engage the five senses. So you want to engage, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What's around you? What do you see, right? What do you feel? All of those things. So that your brain, because your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction. Okay, so if you're not achieving your results, you're likely not doing this, right? And if you are doing it, if you say, okay, I do visualize, if it's not working, you're likely not doing it effectively. Okay, or maybe you're a person who doesn't do it at all. So here's what I want to share with you about the visualization piece and how powerful this is, because I don't think people really get it. So there was a study done years ago with two sets of basketball teams. And what they did is they had one basketball team practice free throws every single day for like 2 to 3 hours a day. That's all they did, was practice shooting free throws, practice shooting free throws. And then the other team, they had sit on the wall. They couldn't touch a ball. All they were able to do is sit there every single day. And what they were instructed to do was to visualize making a free throw for the time that they were there. And I don't remember, it was definitely a shorter amount of time than the practice. So let's say 30 minutes a day. So 30 minutes a day, visualizing just making free throws. Just visualize yourself making free throws for 30 minutes. The other team practiced for 3 hours a day. The team, when it was all said and done, they put them together, and the team that actually made the most amount of free throws, or who had the higher free throw percentage when it was all said and done, was the team who sat and visualized, not the team who practiced their free throws for 3 hours a day. So that shows you the power of the mind, the power of visualization. Here's the power of visualization. It's that it really allows you to retain in your brain, to basically to retrain your brain to actually have that experience. Remember, the brain doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction. It doesn't know what's real. So everything it sees, it believes it. That's why fear gets us so, like, our heart races, and movies make us like we don't know the difference, right, in our brain. It's like a mental rehearsal of whatever you want to achieve in advance. And it will actually support you in attracting the ideas, the resources, the people. Like, you'll be more open and aware to what you need to achieve that goal, because your brain actually goes, oh, this is what we're trying to do, and this will support us, and it sees it, right? So it helps you to attract the ideas, the resources, the people, or whatever it is you need in order to make that goal possible that you set for yourself, okay? So visualization is the first tool I want to give you every single day. Sit down and visualize yourself actually having what you said you wanted, the more clients, the more money in your bank account, all of those things. And what does it feel like? You engage the five senses emotionally in it. The second tool that I want to give you with this step, this is something that I absolutely love to do, and I encourage my clients to do it as well, to uproot and clear negative emotions. Because when we have negative emotions around not achieving a goal, we continue to carry that with us. And then those negative feelings fester and cultivate and strengthen beliefs that don't support us. So what you want to do is you want to release those. You want to release those feelings and those emotions, because what happens is they start to compile. And every time you go after a goal, your body and your brain remembers, oh, this is how we feel because we don't hit our goals. And then you bring those negative feelings and emotions into it, and it takes you out of the game. Okay, so one of the most effective tools that I found to support me with this is journaling those negative emotions and feelings and then releasing them and letting them go. So I'll write them all down. I'll spend time with them, really looking at them, and then I literally just let them go. They're no longer mine. They do not support me. I don't own them, and I release them and let them go. Okay. And I typically, a lot of times I'll journal just what comes up for me. I'll read through it. I usually have music playing. But then when it's all said and done, I'll rip them up and then I'll burn them, like as a symbolization of it's gone. You know, that's no longer mine. It no longer belongs to me. So that's really, really powerful. So here's what I want you to know. If you don't let those negative emotions go, because you have to, you have to let them go, because if you don't let them go, you got to understand this, it's not going to go away by itself. We have to release and not hold on to. And if you don't do that, you can actually create this pattern or a habit of self-doubt, like I talked about earlier, that you might not even be aware of, that's just lurking under the surface. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that in a second when I share with you my story for the next lesson that I'm going to share. All right, so here's what's next. So the first thing is you've got to get a handle on managing the mindset of who you be. That's the first thing. Here's the next thing. The next thing is focus on the lesson and not the loss. Focus on the lesson and not the loss. If you set a big, hairy, audacious goal last year for yourself in 2017 that you haven't been able to accomplish, what I want to encourage you to do is every time you didn't achieve a goal, or everything that you experience, or every time you experience something that you thought to be a failure, what you want to begin to learn how to do is look for the lesson in that experience. Here's what you can do. Ask yourself, what's the lesson here? What can I learn from this? The failures that we experience, they're just information, like they're totally information rich. And if you're open to acknowledging the lessons available to you to learn through every experience that you have, it's a super powerful and potent tool in your arsenal, weapon in your arsenal. I learn lessons all the time. Here's the key. You know, sometimes it's lessons that I thought I had learned, and then bam, it just comes back again. Last year, actually this year, because we're still in 2017, the last couple of days of 2017 right now, we've got like 4 more days left. I had my biggest sales month ever. Biggest sales month ever. And here's what I've learned. When I had that biggest sales month ever, old patterns started to appear. I've had tons of time over the years where I've had big money months that were like $30,000, and then I didn't make money for 3 months. Or I'd have a big 50K month, and then I make money for like 6 months or most of the year. I would make a little bit of money here and there. And I started to become aware of my feelings and thoughts when it comes to making money in my business. Because if you know my story, you know that at one point in time I was doing really amazing and I lost everything. I was doing really amazing, and then I lost everything, right? And so with that, I have a little bit of entrepreneurial PTSD, that what if I lose everything again? What if I make a whole lot of money and then, something catastrophic happens? And for a long time, that was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Every time I would have a big money month in my business. One time, the credit card company held all the money, 100% of the funds, and they wanted to hold it for like 6 months' time. While I was so broke at the time, them doing that, I think it was like $20,000, or it might have been like $15,000. And they wanted to hold the whole thing. And I had no money to build my business with because that was everything that I had. And I had just come off like investing in a mentor and like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I start doing it. And then the credit card company holds all my money and I can't function. Another time I had a big money month and then a tax lien hit my bank account, like this crazy stuff. Another time I started doing really well in my business and then my husband lost his job. And I wasn't at the point where I could sustain everything with my business, and it just sent me into a spiral and I had to start all over again. And so this became this pattern, this self-fulfilling prophecy. So this year I had my biggest money month ever. It was an 80K month. And I found myself hiding. I was not marketing like I normally would market. I didn't share with anybody that I hit the goal. I didn't do a case study on it. I didn't do anything that I know that I probably should have done during that time. And I was also having these really melancholy feelings, like I didn't want to do anything. It was like fear was over me. I was worried about what, I don't know. I had money in my bank account. It was amazing. It was my biggest sales month ever. And I think like $25,000 of that was cash. So, hey, pretty amazing, right? Why was I feeling this way? And I realized by looking at my emotions and managing my emotions that my old pattern had creeped in. Basically, my brain and my body had been trained that whenever we do well, something around the corner is going to blow up. And so I had to pull myself out of that pattern very quickly, because if I hadn't, I would have had another one of those instances where I didn't make any money the month after and the month after. So my brain automatically went into that mode to set up for it, to buffer against any catastrophic events. But that was self-sabotage, not marketing, holding on to everything, being very quiet was not the recipe for success in my business. It wasn't going to get me more sales. Okay. What I realized, what was happening, I interrupted that pattern immediately and began to get back into the game. Okay. So that awareness of that. What I want you to begin to do is look at yourself, look at your own patterns, look at your behaviors, your feelings that come up when you have setbacks and disappointments. Use every failure, use every mistake, use every setback, and look for the lessons in them. There's always a lesson if you're willing and open to learning. Okay? So number 2, focus on the lesson and not the loss. Number 3, if you want to own 2018, do a goal gut check. Please do a gut check on your goals. Don't just pick goals out of the sky because it's what everybody else is doing. Oh, I want a 6-figure business. Oh, I want to have a 5-figure month. I want to have a 10K month. All of that stuff. Don't pull it out of the sky because you see somebody else doing or you hear everybody else talking about it. Do a gut check for yourself. Honestly, most of the time when you're setting goals, the goal is simply not big enough for you. That's really what happens with most people. You set small goals based on how much money you need to make to pay your bills. Like, I just need 5 clients and I'll be happy, right? And what's happening is you're not setting a goal that's going to get you excited about it. And then what happens is you don't put the energy or the effort into doing what you need to do to attract the people, the resources, or whatever you need to make it happen. So what I'm saying is, first and foremost, assess the goal and make sure that it's really, truly what you desire to have and do, not just what somebody else set up for you. Okay, whether it's what you want to charge your clients, what programs you want to offer, how much money you want to make in a month, whatever that desired goal is, make sure it's what you truly desire and want. Okay, then on the flip side of that, when you're doing a goal gut check, there's other times when the goal is too big. Again, likely for the same reasons. You want to look good, or you feel like that's the number I need to have in order to feel successful. And maybe you don't have enough resources in order for you to attain that goal with ease. Excuse me, I'm going to drink some water here. Maybe you don't have enough resources in order to attain that goal without burning yourself out or without killing yourself. Without driving yourself crazy to make it happen. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're assessing the goal to see whether it's too aggressive for you or not aggressive enough. And then once you assess the goal and you're like, okay, this is like, this lights me up. It's doable, it's attainable, but I'm also on fire about making it happen. Then you want to create a plan to accomplish those goals that takes into the account the lessons that you've learned in step 2. How do you show up when it comes to sales and marketing in your business? How do you show up in your business, period? Make sure that the plan that you put together supports you in feeling amazing while you're going for your goal. All right, so I want to recap. Like I said, this is going to be short and powerful because I really want to make sure you get this. If you set a goal for 2017 that you didn't accomplish and you want to own 2018, the first thing you need to do is master the mindset of who you be. The first place you want to start is you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. I forgot to even talk about that. Like, people just work, 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 and they don't take care of themselves. You know, I have regular spa days. I take regular trips, fun days for myself, as well as work, and days off. I don't work 7 days a week. You will not catch me working on the weekend. You know, I might answer a few questions from clients who have unlimited access to me if I'm available, but if I'm with my family, I'm with my family. So there's no crossing the lines of that. You won't catch me working late into the evenings. I just don't do those things because it doesn't set me up for success. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, managing your thoughts, and managing your emotions. And this is something that we tend to forget to do, right? It's critical that you're doing it consistently, not once a week. I'm not talking at the end of the day, like, okay, check in. How did I feel about not hitting my goal today? I mean, in the moment, right? In the moment. Learn to do this in the moment. If something negative happens and you don't check in with yourself, if you don't address the situation right away, what tends to happen is the next thing you know, we begin to create a negative snowball effect. The minute our thoughts and our eyes are focused on the negative thing, we typically then create more negative experiences over and over and over again. It's like, oh my gosh, when it rains, it pours. Trust me, love, it's you. Your focus is on the negative. However, if you can switch your focus onto something more positive, you will then create more positive experiences. This is why it's so important that you master who you're being in the moment and not wait till things pile up, because you can shift it in an instant. The second thing we talked about is focusing on the lesson and not the loss. Whatever setbacks, failures, disappointments you may experience, or maybe you set a goal and then you don't achieve it, you want to make sure that you look for the lesson that is present, because there's always, 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 always a lesson that is present. You know, I shared one of my lessons earlier what I learned about myself, right? And how I showed up in a way that doesn't support my success when I'm really winning big, actually. Right? I create setbacks for myself after a really big win. And so I have to shift that. And with the knowledge and awareness of it, because I do check in with my emotions consistently, I was able to shift it this time very quickly. And ended up, this year has been one of my biggest sales years ever. So it's really important that you look for those lessons, because there is gold in everything that we experience. If you say to yourself every day, I see opportunities everywhere. Here's what that means. Even when I don't get what I think I want, there is an opportunity for me in there somewhere. There's something that I can learn from that experience. And that's what I would advise you to do. Look at every failure, look at every setback, look at anything that didn't go the way you expected it to, and look for the lesson in it, because there is a lesson in it that will help you to get closer to your goal. If not help, all the way help you achieve your goal. Look for the lesson in every setback. Don't wallow in the emotion of, oh my gosh, I had a setback. Look for the lesson. Don't focus on the failure. The third and final thing we talked about is do a goal gut check. Was your goal for 2017 too small or too big? And get really, really clear on that for yourself. If it was too big, then what kind of support do you need? What do you need to learn Who do you need to have in your corner in order for you to achieve the goal this time around? If the goal is too small, because you were playing small, that's why it was too small, right? What do you need to do to step it up? What do you need to do to allow yourself to play a bigger game? What do you need to do, or what do you need to allow yourself to step up to the next level so that you can then achieve your goal? So those are the 3 ways that you can make sure you own 2018, even if you didn't achieve your goals in 2017, right? You got to master the mindset of who you be consistently. It's got to be constant. You got to focus on the lesson and not the loss. And then you have to always, always, always do a goal gut check. Is this reality for me? Is this goal too big? Is it too small? Is it lighting me up? Okay. The last thing that I want to share with you is that no matter what you've been going through, no matter what you've experienced, I truly believe, I have a powerful belief that whatever it is that you desire, you can absolutely create. That's my belief. It's what I teach my clients, and it's what I'm sharing with you. You know, like I said, a few months ago, I had my biggest sales month ever. And I'm actually going to do a case study on how I created that 80K month in just a few weeks. I think it was like 3 weeks time. And this was really coming off some crazy experiences in my own business of ups and downs, you know, of some setbacks on some goals that I had set for myself for the first quarter of the year, or the first half of the year. Some up and down money months, and they're, you know, things aren't always going to go my way. And they weren't always going my way, but I was able to still book $80,000 in 3 weeks. And so many of you have goals like that, that once you don't hit them, what happens is you go, okay, maybe that was too big for myself. And the reality of it is you can use these 3 things as weapons in your arsenal that I just taught you. Everything can change for you in the coming year. You can shift it in an instant just like that. First of all, it takes a decision. That's the number one thing that you have to have, is that you have to decide that you want your life and your business to look vastly different than it looked this year. And a decision is always, always, always backed up with action that's in alignment with that decision and that belief. Okay? So what I'm going to do, because I want to share with you what it took for me to do that, I'm going to share a really powerful case study training coming up really soon, where I'm going to take you through what I did step by step, and make that available to you in my Facebook group. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do it January 4th to kick off the year with Supernova Sales School. So mark that on your calendar. And if it's something you're really interested in, just request to join the group. All you have to do is head over to powerplayerslive.com, powerplayerslive.com, request to join the group, and then you'll see the details start to pop up actually in the next week or so. Actually, over this weekend, I'll probably put it up, that's what I'm going to do. So if you want to hit 6 figures, if you want to hit multiple 6 figures in 2018, listen, it starts next week, and you have so much time left to do it. You have so much time left to do it. If you want to get access to my that case study that I'm going to do, I'm going to make it available to everyone who's a member of my community at powerplayerslive.com. And we're going to go live with the case study on January 4th. All right. So I want to thank you for just taking the time to listen to this quick little training. I truly believe that you can accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. Really re-listen to this over and over again, because these are the 3 tools. These are 3 of the most powerful tools that I have in my arsenal that have shifted everything for me. It shifts the way that I show up in my business. It shifts the way I go after my goals, and I'm constantly using them. I set goals for myself that I don't hit sometimes either. And so I have to sit with these things so I make sure that I don't bring those negative emotions, thoughts, and feelings into the next month and the next month and the next month. And then I look up and half the year is gone and I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Heck no, I'm not living that life any longer. And I don't desire that for you either. And I truly hope that you don't desire it for yourself. So if you're ready to own your 2018, begin to implement this in your business on a regular basis. I totally believe in you. I'll talk to you next time.